Hello there, folks. Hey, Joe Mozu here. Hey, in this video, we're going to play with some scaling on a 4UI mix module for the FlexEdge products. I've got that connected here to my DA70. This is the particular card that I've got connected, and I've got some analog outputs directly connected to analog inputs on here. And if I go to the Crimson database, so in Crimson here, I've got this IO module connected to the DA70, and I've got analog output 1 set up as 0 to 20 milliamps, and it's directly connected to analog input 4, 0 to 20 milliamps, and I'm doing on the analog output 2, I'm voltage to analog input 3, which is voltage. Anyway, I'm going to focus on my analog input 4 here, which is 0 to 20 milliamps. I want you to notice down here that it's got 0 to 100.0 here. And if I go over here to data tags, that's this channel right here. So if I click the pick button, you can see that it's mapped to analog inputs, status, PV4, process variable 4. And I'm not doing any formatting here at all right now. I'm not doing any limits, anything. Everything's default. So if I download this to our screen, go look at our web server here. Where's the web server? All right, so here's the web server. And if I show the current wiring, if I put in a number here, say 5,000, you can see the corresponding input here. But what I'd really like to do is I'd like to show this number as a 0 to 20 milliamps instead of some 0 to 10,000. 10,000 is the max here. I don't think I'd go any bigger. Let's put a bigger number. Let's just see what happens. Nothing. Yeah. So 10,000 is the maximum. And that's because in Crimson, over here at the IO modules in Crimson, you're going to see that AIO analog output 1 is 0 to 10.00 here. But in reality, team, this is a 0 to 10,000 number over this span. Now, I want to create a tag for my analog input 4 that actually shows this as a 0 to 20.0 .00 number, 0.00 to 20.00. So if you notice here, I'm leaving everything by default, this here. I'm going to go over here to data tags on the left. I'm going to create a new tag, and I'm going to call this one, let's call it input underscore 4 underscore 0 underscore 20 milliamps. Okay, so down here in the do not scale, I'm going to hit the pull down here, and I'm going to do scale to integer for this one. I know that the raw data is coming in as 0 to 10,000. Again, this 10,000 number I'm picking on is over here at IO modules. If I look at analog input 4, even though this says 100.00, in reality it's an integer number of 0 to 10,000. Okay, so back here at the data tags, that's the raw number coming in. I want this to show up as 0.00 to 20.00. So this is going to sound weird, but I'm going to put a 0 here. And then down here in the display to, I'm going to put 2,000. Now the reason I'm putting 2,000 there is because if I go to the Format tab and hit the pick button here, I'm going to declare this as a numeric type. And by picking the numeric type, click OK, I get access to the data formatting here. So I can say digits before is 2, because if you look at the number 20, that is a 20. That's 2 digits before. And then I want a .00, so I'm going to put there as well. And maybe down below here, should I get rid of this cam? But down here, I'm going to put little m, big A for the units. Okay, now that's setting up the tag. I'm not going to do anything here because I'm not doing any trending. But if I go back to the data tab, notice this tag is blue. I did all of this procedure first before I connected it to here, because once I connect this to the real input, this kind of gets grayed out. So watch what I do here. On the left, I've highlighted the input 4 underscore 0 dot underscore 20 milliamp. This internal tag, notice the color blue. I'm going to go over here to the right side, and I'm going to grab the original green tag, and I'm going to drag and drop it right here, boom, on the word source. Well, I thought I was. Let me try it again. Right there. Now notice, once I did that, that became a formula tag equal to this guy here, and it takes on this. Now this is grayed out. This is why I did this before I did that, because this becomes grayed out and then you can't change this. So I don't understand why that is the case, but anyway, it is. So I'm going to go to display pages over here, and I'll go to the right side. Get rid of this camera. That's just showing a picture. I'm going to drag this guy out here, and I'll make this one the same size as, I need to get that out of here. Can I turn that off? Yes, I need to turn that off beforehand. All right, so I'm going to try to make this guy the same size as the other one. So I'll right click here, do same size as that one there, and then I'll copy from, let's say all formatting, and I'll make it a little bigger now that I've done that. Okay, so let's see if we get a 0 to 20 milliamps out of here as I put in a number of 0 to 10,000 for the output. So let's download this to the screen, and let's go over to our web browser. And I'll turn on my current wiring so you can see it. I already made a video covering this particular topic here, but let's put this at 5,000, which should be the range between 0 to 20 milliamps. That should come up 10 milliamps. So this should go around 10 milliamps. Spot on the money. Look at that, team. If I put this at 7,500, for instance, this should go around 15 milliamps. That is absolutely lovely. And if I put this at, say, 2,500, a quarter should come down to about 5. Perfect. I love that. That looks good. Now, what if I wanted to cheat a little further and maybe make this number be a 4 to 20 milliamp over that range? So I'm going to go back to Crimson. In Crimson, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to call this one input underscore number 4 underscore. This time I'm going to do 4 underscore 20 milliamp, because this one I want to scale that number over 4 to 20 milliamp. Now, this is going to sound kind of weird, but I'm going to leave the scaling, well, I shouldn't say scaling, but I'm going to leave the input channel set up as 0 to 20 milliamps, but this time I'm going to span this over 4 to 20 milliamps over that number. So I'm going to go back to data tags. Once again, down here, we do the scale to integer. Again, we know the raw number is coming in as 0 to 10,000. But this time I'm going to go 4 to 20. So I'm going to put in a 400 here to a 2,000. And then just like the previous example, I'm going to click the Format tab. Down here where it says Format Type, I'll hit the Pick button. I'm going to declare this as a numeric type. And when I click OK, that gives me access to the data format. Again, 20.00, 20 has 2 digits before, and the 00 at the end is 2. So that's that. I'm going to go back to the Data tab. Notice this is an X because of the 400 to 2000. I'm keeping everything in the integer format. Again, just like the previous example, I did this step first before I linked this to the real tag. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab the original input 4 milliamp. I'm going to drag it and drop it right here. Boom. Now it takes on. This is grayed out. Looks good. Okay, we're going to try that. I'm going to do one more thing while I'm in here. I'm going to create yet another new tag over here. And I'm going to, let's see here, call this the same thing for, whoops. But I'm going to call this one a float, for instance. I'll do a reel. Okay. The reason I'm doing this, I want to try something here. I'm going to make this time I'm going to do scale to floating point. So I'm going to put 0 to 10,000 here. But this time down here in display from, I'm going to put 4.00, enter. And down here display to, I'm going to put 20.00, enter. I'm not going to do anything on the format tab for this one. We'll try this, leave it that way. If I go back to data, It doesn't matter. But notice the pi symbol because this guy is set to floating point. So just like the previous example, I'm going to take the input 4, the original tag, the green one, and I'm going to drag it right here. Boom. Once again, notice it's grayed out. Okay, these are yellow because it's simple formula. All right, let's go to display pages. And let's drag this guy out here. And we'll drag this one out here as well. So I'm going to take both of these. And in a roundabout way, I'm going to make them a little bigger. And maybe I'll just do this. I'll do same size as. I don't think that might work. And do this one same size as. I think I'll have to stretch it. All right. All right, I'm going to leave those two in that. Well, hold on. Let me do the copy from. This is probably what's going to cause me to. No, that still fits. What about this one? Copy from all formatting. Okay, yep, that one's got to stretch because I made the tag long. Okay. And look at that number. Well, you know the 999. I don't know if anybody noticed that. The 999 comes from back here at the tag level, the original one. I'm simulating right here just a 5-digit number. My way of going 0 to 1,000 or 0 to 10,000. So let's go ahead and download this and let's see what happens. Did I hit download? Oh, okay, there it's going. All right. Okay, I'm going to hit the current wiring. All right, so again, we've already talked about this, but if I put this at 5,000, let's see what we get here. So in the original scaling, that's correct, but in the 4 to 20 milliamp, it's offset a little bit, so that's where it's at now. Okay, and this guy, aha, look at this one, team. It has 5 total digits with 3 after. Even though I set it up as 4.00 to 20.00, it's insisting on using 5. Same example as before. If I put this at, whoops, let me go there. Say I put this at 7,500 here. There's my numbers, and if I put it back to 2,500, and if I put it at 0, so that goes 0, that's 4. Okay, I'm going to fix this guy so that it always has 2 digits before and 2 digits after. And on Crimson, I'm going to click on that real tag right here. I'm going to go to the Format tab, and in the Format type here, I'll hit the Pick button. I'm going to do a numeric type, click OK. The only reason I'm doing the numeric is because I want to make that thing have 2 here and 2 here. And now if I go back to display pages, see how it sits here? I'm going to click on the page, see if it updates. I don't know if it will. 1, 2, 3, boom. All right, there it shows that format. And of course, if I download it now to the screen, we should see that we get a 4.00 just like this guy now. Let's see. Perfect. And if I turn on this, I can of course change this. Awesome. All right, so that's just showing some different formatting. The important thing I want you to take away from this, really the important thing, is that in Crimson, I am using the data tags and I'm using the formatting. I'm always doing 0 to 10,000 as my data to and from because at the tag, at the IO module level, it's right here. Even though it says 0 to 100.00, just remember this is actually an integer whole number, 0 to 10,000. You're going to see that there. You'll see that here, 0 to 10,000. That's the same part there. Yep. So anyway, that's just a quick example on doing some formatting, data scaling here to get the numbers to show up however you want. One thing I was thinking is, if we were to look at this number, let me ponder my thoughts here. Let me go back to the web browser. And we know that if I put a 0 in reality, team, this guy should actually be it shouldn't be 4. It really should be negatives. It should be 0. Let me think. How can I say what I'm trying to say to you? Let's see if I change this to 3,000 here. Well, anyway, that's something for me to ponder. But I was trying to figure out really what I'm saying to you. Let me go back to Crimson. What I'm saying to you is this number right here on the 4 to 20 milliamp really shouldn't be zero. It should probably be some number. And we can maybe cheat. Can I put in, let's see here, can I put in 2000 here? Ah, so it should be right around 2000 before this guy shows up. So back at Crimson, I'm going to change this number here to a 2000. So it's going to scale between 2000 and 10,000 will be 4 to 20 milliamp here. I'm also going to click on this one. I'll change this one to 2000 as well. All right, let's see what happens when I do this little test. All right. So if I put in a 0 here, nothing's going on. If I put in a 1000, what happens? Okay, get some numbers. Actually, it's spot on. If I put in, well, if I put in 5,000, which is the middle part. Oops, I hit enter. There we go. Yeah, it follows exactly that scaling. So, yeah, it doesn't really shift it like the other one did. But anyway, so I just wanted to throw you that's kind of some ideas on scaling at the tag level. Again, 0 to 10,000. Remember that. That's the raw format coming in, and go from there with your scaling in Crimson. Hey, thanks a lot, folks. Have a great day.